once again, we'll be looking into the life of Joseph once again. The 39th chapter, verse 6, if you want to take a few seconds to look at that, the 39th chapter of Genesis. I was shocked just a few years back at some of the new shows that came out, especially when the show Desperate Housewives came out. Just the way it was presented, the way it was advertised, I'm going, really? Really? That's what we're going to have to watch here? It seemed to me, I may be stepping on somebody's toes, but it seemed to me like a low of blows. Just the whole concept, the premise, and the purpose. And it's produced so well. There was so much work to it. They're diligent with their scripts. They're snappy scripts. The verbs you hear of it, it's snappy, and it's well done in a technical sense with that content. And yet, there's this little ring of truth in the background. Here are these people. Basically, it's this group of women that focuses about, and these are people. They are beautiful people. They have it. And appearance-wise, they have it. They live in a community that is wealthy and has all the amenities, the things you could possibly want in a community. The homes are full of the finest furnishings. There are tools and clothes and people to take care of all that stuff so that they don't have to do it. They have everything they want. It seems like they have it going on. Everything that they possibly desire, and yet they are the unhappiest people ever. Are they not? They're not satisfied with what they want. It's all about what they have. It's all about something more and something different. And they live these lives that are full of all the things that a good job provides, but no relationship to the spouse, who's that person that they should be with. And there's a great distance, a heartache there that is expressed. And while it's being glamorized by the show, yet there's the truth of this great, deep sorrow in these people's lives that produces in them actions that are not good, that are not right, are not pointed the right way. They are unhappy people. They are people who own much, but they don't have life. They don't have peace. They don't have rest. They don't have joy. They don't know how to be generous or full of life or blessing to those who are around them because of it. They're lonely, isolated people, separate even from one another. And they pursue whatever they think might distract them for a moment. And in that sense, there's a very great truth presented in the show. It truly is. Did you know there's one of them in the Bible? Desperate Housewives. If you'll turn to the 39th chapter of Genesis, we'll begin in verse 6. As you know, Joseph has been taken down to Egypt. He was sold as a slave to a man named Potiphar. And he was put in the house, and he became such a successful person that he was promoted from the lowest slave to the person in charge of the entire house to manage it, because Potiphar saw that he was blessed. Let me read 39, verses 6 through 10. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while, his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." Does this sound familiar? Desperate Housewives. But he refused. "With me in charge," he told her, "my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns, he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. Good strategy. Good strategy. Joseph is in a bind here. This is a terrible dilemma for him to be in. He's in a terrible place. He's the golden boy. You know, that's what we always think of, that guy who has it going on, who knows how to do the things. He is adroit in his handling of people and situations and jobs. And he's able to make a success out of very difficult situations. And because of his talent, because of his integrity, because of his training as a person, he has risen to this great place of leadership in the house. And it's more than just his abilities, his natural talents. It's not just his looks, because it's just like Potiphar understood that God was with him. There's something special about this guy that's more than just you. It's a godly, it's a divine influence on his life. And so now, from the very bottom of the totem pole in the house, he has gone to second in command, right behind Potiphar himself. He's in charge. He's given free rein to run it as he pleases. Potiphar is not even checking the books. He lets Joseph do it his way. It's his power to direct everybody else in the house. But there is one in the household who has some influence. One who is open to causing some grief for him. And that, of course, is Mrs. Potiphar. Now, there's a saying that we have. Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Right? And we've experienced some of this. We understand what's going on with that. And so here is this pampered wife. Here is this woman from a pampered family. In those days, see, Potiphar is the captain of the king's guard. Very high official. And all the high officials married into families of power in the nation. That's how they consolidated power. They had family relationships to hold it together. And families should watch out for each other. There's that tendency. It doesn't always happen that way, but that's what we believe. And so here's this woman who not only is married to a powerful man, she's from a powerful family. And so she has great political influence through the back door of family connections. So Potiphar, in a way, is caught as well. He may be from a powerful family, he may be powerful himself, but her family is powerful as well, and he needs them. And so she realizes that she's got pull. It may not be official pull, it may not be in the laws and in the textbooks kind of a pull, but it's real nevertheless. And here is Joseph. Here is Joseph. What's a boy to do? This is really a suggestion that she's making. She's not dropping hints. This is the demand. What's a guy to do in this moment? When you get into a corner like that, there's something going on in the organization you're in, and this is what you do to go along. You go on to get along. That's what everybody else does. That's how they act. Are you going to do the same thing? We find it in corporate cultures that have a style of doing business in one way or another that we might not think are the greatest thing. But if you're in there, are you going to do like the Romans do? Just to be a part of it. So it's not to step out of line. But it's a risky game, doing what is wrong. And especially the demands that she is making on him. It puts him at a terrible risk. But that would be one option. To go along and try to get along and try to use this relationship to promote his own agenda. That would be one way of looking at it. Or would it be more beneficial to play the card and play the honest man to Potiphar and come clean and try to put her in a bad light and to manipulate the situation for himself? And we can see, I can see in my mind's eye, Joseph, if he were such a person, trying to strategize the best way for him to overcome. How can he turn this situation to his own advantage? How can he take this and turn it on those who are opposing him? But you know something? Joseph didn't do either of those things. He neither played along to get along, nor did he try to power play. He was not a man driven by a fear of what people are doing or by greed for what people had. His line of behavior is clearly drawn from his faith. Joseph is clearly committed to more than just the next thrill, or the next acquisition, or the next good thing that he can get. It goes back to Joseph and who he was. When we see him, first of all, he has had a dream that God is sending him to be a leader. And that he's going to be one who leads even his own parents. And they will depend upon him and follow his instructions. And his brothers and sisters as well. And it's not an ego trip. He realized this is what God has assigned him to do. To be this person. He's being prepared for a larger mission than just being a wealthy and powerful man himself. He is sent to move God's people forward and protect them and make a place in the world for them so that they don't become extinct and that at some time Jesus Christ will come out of his family to change the course of the entire world. He doesn't see that fact, but he knows that God is moving. It's purpose greater than his momentary existence and his advancement. It's about what God's doing. And is he willing to put that in jeopardy? By manipulating the system, by doing what is not right, that he knows is not right? Is he willing to risk all that? Dad used to tell us when we were kids, you don't mortgage the home place. Isn't that a great maxim? Always keep the place where you live in your hands so that there's a place to go. But in Joseph's life, he is not going to mortgage the message that God has given him, the mission that God has put him on, the basic thing that he was sent to do, to make a place for God's people in the world. This is the bottom line. That's something he's not willing to risk.